Good day, everyone. This is Rana A. Magsakay. By this time, I'll be discussing evaluation framework, social marketing, social mobilization, FMA2, DEB208. For my framework, I'll be using 10 components, and my acronym will be SMART-CCBMS. For SMART, it stands for S, sustainability and replicability. M for message design and relevance, A for audience, R for resource utilization, T for target goals, C for community participation, C for channel selection, B for behavior change outcomes, M for monitoring and feedback, and S for stakeholder coordination. This framework was divided in 4 stages or 4 phases. The phase 1 is the planning or the foundation stage. The phase 2 is the implementation and delivery stage. The phase 3 is the outcome and impact stage. And the phase 4 is the governance, sustainability, stakeholder coordination, and monitoring feedback. I'll now discuss the first component, which is the planning stage, the target goal, or the objectivity. For every program, it is important to know that you have correct objective. Absence of clear objective will not know the project is successful or not. For any social marketing or social mobilization program to succeed, its goal must be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound, or what we call the framework SMART. Like my example in FMA1, the Project Tabang. The objective there is very clear, very specific, which is aligned to the needs of the community. Project Tabang, tulong sa bangsamorong nangangailangan. That's why in this framework, the first component, the planning, should be first, you should know your objective. Next is the audience or target audience or the target stakeholders. For this framework, this audience component or target audience component is very important. First, are beneficiaries correctly identified, segmented, and prioritized? Like, is your audience are composed of senior citizen, PWD, or young people? This framework or components of this framework is very important to know for the success of the program. Social marketing audience-centered by design. It does not work unless the program clearly knows who it is trying to reach. Like what I said, you need to know your audience or your target audience or else your program will not be effective. You should also know who are those people and also the barriers to prevent them from participating. Like what my report before, to know your stakeholders. You should know their attitude. You should know their behavior because they are your beneficiaries. Their participation is very important. Next, you already have your correct objective or clear objective. You already know who's your target audience. Next is to check if your message design and content quality. Is the message relevant, clear, and culturally appropriate? This component of this framework is very important also for the success of every program. Another question is that persuasive appeal aligned with the target audience values and call to action is specific and actionable. That's why in every program, your message must be clear. Your quality of your message must quality of your message must be proper to address your audience. Next, channels and platforms utilizations. You also need to have the proper channels to reach your audience, proper channels to give your message. Channels appropriate for target audience reach. Multi-channel integrations effectively coordinated must be also answered. Media mix optimized for cost and coverage also must be answered. In social marketing, no matter how good your message is, it must reach the right people. And how to do that? It should be the right channels. Like in Project Tabangs, operate they also use the right channels in communication that may have varying levels of access, technology, literacy, and media. Other components of this framework is the community participation and mobilization. Community leaders and stakeholders must be engaged. Ground level participation sustained and also documented. Local ownership of the program demonstrated. And other question is that, did the community actively co-own and drive program activities? Community participation and mobilization is very important to the success of every program. That's why in this component is very important in this framework, especially the participation of the community leaders and stakeholders. Without them, without the person who lead and engage the program, the program will not be, or the campaign will not be successful. Next, another important is the resource or the resources utilization. Is in this component, where is the human, financial, and material resources used efficiently. A lot of program was failed because of not proper use of resources. A lot of program failed because of the resource mishandling of the resources. That's why every program we know that has a limited resources, or every program having a challenge with the resources. However, proper handling and utilization of the program will make or will lead to the success of every program or the success of every campaign. Every program operates with limited resources, financial, human, and material. Efficient use of these resources determine how far the program impact can reach. That's why if your program will take up to 1 year to 6 months, you need to utilize your resources properly. You need to plan your resources properly. You need to control and monitor your resources properly. This component is very important in the success and proper and effectively use or effectively reach the target or reach the audience of your program. Next, message, designs, and relevant. Message is clear, culturally and appropriate, and action-oriented. Social marketing uses the principle of audience-centered communication, meaning message must be crafted based on what audience values, understands, and responds to. The objective of every program is to improve the behavior of your stakeholders, of your audience. Or the objective of every program or campaign is to change or to have a good outcome of your audience. That's why this component is also very important. Where measurable cap shifts recorded among target population, the entire purpose of social marketing is to change behavior, to move people from knowing about an issue to caring about it and actually doing something differently. That's why behavior change outcome component is also important. Next, stakeholder coordination. A lot of programs, even government, private programs, other programs or campaigns failed because of what? Not because of resources. They have resources. Not because of objective or goal. They have that. They have a good objective. Not because of the channel or not proper channel. Why? They failed. Because of the coordination. Don't have a proper coordination. When you lose the coordination, I tell you, even your program is very good, even you have a good resources, it will fail. A lot of programs I saw that failed because of having and not good coordination or because they failed in having a proper coordination. Where LDU, CSO, and key actors coordinated and roles should be clearly defined. It's very important in every framework. It's very important in every program. This component is very important. You just look at it as a coordination. This is just a coordination. Yes, this is just a coordination. But when you failed in this coordination, your program, the total, the holistic program will be failed. Community programs really operate in isolation. Yes, there's no community program operate isolation. It's involved multi-sectors, each with their own mandate, resources, and interests. Like what I said, poor coordination or not having a proper coordination. And most of it, the reason why well-intentioned program will fail. The reason why the program was failed is because of the not having a proper coordination. Next, if your program was already successful, the other question is, or the other component that you should check is how to sustain the success. Sustainability and replicability is very important. You check your resources, you check your funding. It can be secured up to long term. Your success can be secured up to what part? Up to when? Program integrated into existing government structures. You should also check about it. Your capacity to build for local replication without external support. Is your program can sustain without the external support? You should also check on it to sustain and replicability of your program. Like in Project Tabang, it was maintained and reproduced without external support? No. The Project Tabang was, the success of it was sustained and it was promoted for how many years? 7 years already. Because of what? Because of the help of other government, LGUs, NGOs, and other private corporation was there to help it, to sustain it. So in every program, you need to check the resources, funding, and the support. Other thing, if you already have the resources, you already have the sustainability, you need also to check, monitor, and to check also the feedback of your program, especially if your program will not happen only one time. If your program will be continuously launched. If your program, you want it to be permanently there to help or to change the behavior of the people. This final component, monitoring and feedback, this mechanism that keeps a program honest and responsive. Always remember, no program ever rolls out perfectly. Every program need to improve. What separates hyper-probing program ineffective ones is whether they have a system in place to detect problems early. Early detection and improvement and adaptation or correction is very important. The adaptation or the adapt the improvement or the correction accordingly is very important in the success of every program. This is the end of my report, and I hope you learn about the framework, and I hope you can use my framework as a smart CCBMS in a program that you'll be evaluating. Always remember, a program is only as strong as its weakest component. Like Project Tabang must be evaluated holistically from how well it defined its goals to whether it built something that will outlast the program period. Social marketing and social mobilization work when they are intentional, audience-centered, and accountable. Good intentions must be paired with good systems, measurement, coordination, and community ownership. Again, this is Rona A. Magsakay, and thank you for listening to my report. Thank you very much.